Well, hey everybody, it's Sandy and welcome back to my channel dedicated to helping you advocate for your own health one topic at a time. So guys, I've been asked a lot if I can recommend a particular head strap hack in order to connect the ear loops behind your head and convert your mask into more like a head strap mask. So if you want to see what I came up with, just keep watching. Yeah, so I had this question come up in the Facebook group and people were asking me whether I had any particular recommendation as to what we could use to turn an ear loop mask into more of a head strap mask by connecting the two straps behind the head. So there have been studies that have shown that using a head strap mask is actually a more secure fit and a better seal, for lack of a better word. There's not really a seal on a mask, but a better seal than an ear loop mask. But frankly, most of the masks that you find out there on the market now are actually ear loop masks. Sometimes you don't want the head strap because you might have your hair in a certain way that it's just going to be in the way. But then on the other hand, some people wear these ear loop masks for a long enough period of time and they find that their ears get sore. I'm one of those people. So I did look at a couple of things. I got them both on Amazon. I will link these below in the description box. These are, each package of these is below $7, so like $6.95, I think. This is what's called a Lanyard Design, and this is like a little silicone head strap. So I'm going to start with the silicone one. Now there's pros and cons to both of these. So the silicone one just looks like this. Now it's got three notches, three little buttons around which you would put an ear loop. So depending, tighter, medium, looser. Same thing on this side. There's three on this side. And you can do any combination thereof. So if you need something kind of in between, they don't both have to be on the second one. You can have one on the second one and one on the third one. And then this wouldn't be exactly in the center behind your head. But you don't have infinite settings with something like this, but you can get it pretty close because not only do you have these notches, the silicone is actually a little bit stretchy. So you do get pretty close to infinite settings in terms of where you want the tightness adjusted. Now, these are a little bit of a problem to work with. You do have to make sure that the ear loop is situated inside of that rim, okay? And if it's not tucked squarely in that rim, it's going to tend to pop off. I don't have any problems with it popping off when I'm wearing it. I find that the problem is when you're getting it on the mask. When you're first getting this whole thing together, this tends to pop off a few times, so you have to be a little bit patient. Now, one thing that I did learn quickly when using this silicone head strap hack with this ear loop mask. This is my Ever brand, by the way. The Ever brand has these adjusters. Well, this silicone piece puts a lot of pressure. It really pulls hard on the ear loop adjusters. So whereas I normally have these tightened up, I loosen them. Okay, so I have my ear loop adjusters almost all the way, almost as loose as they can go when I'm using this silicone head strap. Now, I already know from having tried it that mine is going to go on the loosest. And again, like I said, you have to, there's my big Band-Aid, it looks huge on camera. You have to get this inside of that groove. There we go, I just did most of that off camera. And then you want to make sure that they're sort of both in the middle of the strap. Whoops, see, like this keeps popping off. This is just a real pain. Okay, and then here's my nose piece, so that's the top. And I always position my head strap pretty high on my head. Now, once this is on, I do like it. I have to say though, when you're putting this on, make sure that you hold it up and put it down where you want it. So try moving it up and down a little bit before you let go of it. Because once you let go of it, this silicone, I don't know if you can see that, but it's silicone. If you try to slide it up and down, it's going to kind of pull your hair. It's not very comfortable. But once it's on, it's great. It doesn't move around. It definitely takes all that pressure off of my ears, as you can see. It definitely keeps the mask more fitted, more like a head strap mask. And I like that. One thing I do think about with this though is, like I said, I have my ear loops adjusted as loose as they can go, but I also have this adjusted as loose as it can go. So I don't know about people who are going to need more generous sizing, because I am hearing that after some of my reviews, like with masks and other such, that people feel that some of this industry is not catering enough to people who need more generous sizing. So I have this on the very loosest setting that you can adjust it to, and I have my ear loops as loose as they can go. And this is like perfect for me. So I certainly wouldn't want to be needing any more slack out of this, because I don't think there's any more I could get. Now, while this sits really nicely while it's on, One thing that you're going to have to think about before you commit to wearing this for the day is, are you going to be wearing this somewhere where you're going to have it on all morning and then you're going to take it off and have lunch and put it back on in short order? Because you're going to go through that whole thing again with, this becomes its own separate piece. Well, let me just show you. There's not going to be any just hanging it down around your neck, for example. So this, I'm shocked it stayed on because normally it doesn't. It happened to stay on. Oh my gosh. Now that I'm on camera, actually, this is perfect. But yeah, there it goes. It pops off. So these are two separate pieces. So this is going to come off and you're going to have to sort of deal with that thing all over again, hang on to this. And, then there's the whole clean factor thing because you don't want to be touching too many things. So it does tie up two hands. So it's just something to think about, where are you going to be when you're wearing this? On the other hand, this can be washed really well in soap and water, and I do like that. So on to the lanyard design. So the lanyard design has got two little clips. So you can see it's kind of like dog leash, and the mask ear loops one goes onto each ear loop. And then on the shaft of it, it's got one of these cord pullers, cord adjusters, where you press down on a button and then you can loosen the cord to bring the cord either way. Now, I've said in the past on this channel, I'll say it again, I'm not crazy about cord clamps because I think that they're kind of hard on arthritic fingers. That said, this one is like a nice large, like a wide button, and it does move really easily, so it's not bothered me a bit. But if I thought cord clamps were hard on arthritic fingers, wait till you try these. These are very difficult to open. Like, I'm really not going to be able to put the mask in there on camera just because it's going to take me holding it at an angle where you won't be able to see it. This is very, very hard to open up. Now, fortunately, you just need like the tiniest bit of space and the mask pops right in there. So I was able to pop it right in. But you can't get, if you had a mask with, let's say, a round kind of corded ear loop, I think that might give you some problems getting that into this hook. So you have to think about that. This ear loop has a very flat elastic, so it really pretty much slides through the crack. I'm hardly having to move that hook at all. Now I know that I've got way too much slack on this, so probably going to loosen that up quite a bit. Now, what I'm going to do with this one is put the whole thing over my head and then work from the bottom up. And now I can adjust it right about where I want it, which is kind of high on my head as always. Now this one leaves you with all this, slack hanging around. So I don't know, I might be inclined to cut this and tie it so there's not just quite as much. But, if that doesn't bother you, no big deal. Definitely my ears are free of, having anything behind them. So that's nice. It definitely feels nice and fit, and it's not moving around. So very similar to the silicone one. I do like the fact that this is kind of, once it's in one piece, it's all in one piece, right? So now if I have to take it off, if I have to do anything, not only can I take it off all in one piece, I can choose to just leave it hang around my neck if I want to. Now, the trade-off with this one is I could see room for a little bit of laxity with the clean procedure, right? We're going to think about hygiene because, we've been wearing masks in the operating room for years and we slide them down in between cases and wear them around our necks, no more, because now we're all wearing masks with a pandemic in mind. So you want to think of the outside of the mask as dirty, really, and make sure to wash your hands before you put it back on and then wash your hands again after you let go of it. So it is something to think about if you're just going to be leaving this thing hang. Where are you? What are you doing? What kind of an environment are you in? Or are you just outside? There are some places, there is a place for being able to do this. And that's something that I have often thought is a huge drawback of an ear loop mask, right? Because you're always having to hold on to it or put it somewhere in a case or something. This way it's with you. So I do like this one, and I guess I really like this one better than the silicone. Now, as far as washing, the silicone one can be washed in soap and water. It could probably go in the dishwasher. This, I don't know. I think I'm going to take this off before I wash my mask. I mean, maybe I will wash this as well, but I don't think I'll wash them together. They might both go in the same Delicate's bag together, but I don't want something that is going to be attached to the mask at the time of washing, just in case there is any agitation. I wash all of mine inside a Delicate's bag, but I just wouldn't want to leave room for like destroying my mask some way, somehow. So I would probably put this in its own Delicate bag and wash it separately. I don't know. So, considering this isn't something I was like on the lookout for, it wasn't something I was actively pursuing. I'm glad the question came up in the Facebook group because I'm glad I had a chance to try a couple of these. And I can say that if you're going to look for one of these, certainly with its nearly unlimited size option, not to mention the fact that it stays all in one piece with your mask for good, and it's fabric, but you can wash it. I would say that I think this is a very reasonable option, very secure option, and it does make the fit of the ear loop mask just better. It just does. So let me know if that was helpful. Let me know if anybody tries something like this, how you like it, or if you have any other suggestions for that matter. So until next time, be well. Bye-bye.